Never ever once in my entire time playing any of those games thought to myself, I should go steal a car. I should go shoot somebody up. I should go strangle a hooker in my Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham. But no, I never ever did it. So that whole argument is just BS.
I relate in every possible way except strangling hookers in my Cadillac Eldorado Brougham. I did learn that from the game. It's worked all my life. Everything's fine. We're back!
Hey guys, and welcome back to another lunch break here at Beards and Sundries, the shop where three game men with beards do inventory on a new sundry item in each episode.
Let it be noted that Jay pulled his hair curl forward right before we started recording.
It's my attractive side.
Joe, can you tell our shoppers what sundry item we're going to be discussing today?
Well, Beardos, I know that the last episode was a little heavy-hitting, so we're going to make this one a little lighter. We're doing video games.
I don't have any sound effects because I literally only played Grand Theft Auto, so I'm really lame. I basically had to tell my parents to buy me a PlayStation 2 when I was in my teens. At Christmas, I was like, do not buy anything else. If you don't want to, just get this PlayStation. I want a gaming system, and they didn't buy any games. So I literally had to go purchase my own games. And I don't even remember what I started with. I think for a while I played a lot of Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit.
This podcast is quickly becoming a testament to your parents' unwillingness to do anything for you.
Oh, God. If they're listening, you kind of slacked off a little bit to teach me a lesson all my life.
If they're listening, I have a lot of things to say to you about how terrible you are.
Oh, ouch.
Jay loves you and he's too nice to say it, but I'm not, and I don't love you.
I do remember that my stepmom on my dad's side, whenever I bought Grand Theft Auto, she was so pissed off because she's like, that is terrible for you.
Everyone loves to hate that game.
It taught me how to go out and steal cars and kill people for money. I mean, that's how I got my living as long as I have now.
Harking back to episode 1, this is why Jay had to change his name.
And guilty.
I loved GTA. I had 3 was my first game because it was on my Xbox. I played Vice City. I played GTA 4. Avid player of GTA 5. Still bring it out every now and again. Not a huge fan of the online stuff, but that's making them money, so that's what they're going to keep doing for a while, unfortunately. But yeah, I love GTA. I love the open world aspect. I love that you could do anything you wanted. You could drive cars around the whole entire map. When they introduced helicopters and motorcycles and boats, that was super cool. I mean, the people that make the argument that it's just violence and it's going to make the kids bring guns and everything. I never ever once in my entire time playing any of those games thought to myself, I should go steal a car. I should go shoot somebody up. I should go strangle a hooker in my Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham. But no, I never ever did it. So that whole argument is just BS.
I relate in every possible way except strangling hookers in my Cadillac Eldorado Brougham. I did learn that from the game. It's worked all my life. Everything's fine. But I
kept wondering why you had that car in the backyard under a tarp.
I keep changing the tag on it.
It was always fun to pick up the hookers because you would drive around to the secluded spot and then the car would start doing the shaking thing, like simulating that you were having sex with them. But if you looked around to the front of the car or the side of the car, they were just sitting in the car like this. And the only way that worked my mind, I was like, is this what heterosexual sex looks like? Ew.
Yep.
It is.
I still dream about Vice City to this day. I loved that game. It made me love the 80s. Like, I love that game. Still.
Did I have Vice City? I had Vice City. I got Vice City. I was not.
I have it on PC now.
Yeah, I re-downloaded it recently when they re-released it again.
I think I got it off Steam or something. I loved it.
Yeah, it was good. The storyline was good. It was awesome.
And the radio stations, like all of the radio stations, were amazing. Best game of radio stations.
Vice City was the first game in the series to have actual licensed music, so that's why it was such a banger of a soundtrack overall. Now, don't get me wrong, the fake commercials, we wouldn't know about that, but the fake commercials in GTA 3 were just so funny. And then they continued that with Vice City, and then I think... was it 4 when they kind of just ditched that idea? I think they just went to licensed stuff all the time anyway.
4 and 5 has funny commercials, but they're kind of just half-assed, more realistic funny, and it's not as enjoyable.
I remember 4 got a lot of flack because, well, it was on the Xbox 360 and everyone had the Red Ring of Death issues. I never had those issues because I didn't have a 360. I still had the regular Xbox. So I had to play GTA 4 on a system it was at this house, this guy that I was like sort of seeing, and then mainly I'd be like, all right, good night, and then he would go to sleep and I would go downstairs and I would play GTA 4 on his roommate's Xbox 360.
What?
Yeah.
What a story. I was hooking up with this guy so I could play GTA 4. Listen, shoppers, Joe is living proof. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I mean, it's the same idea as whenever I briefly dated a massage therapist back in the day. Well, okay, I was in school for massage therapy, and I didn't realize how much that I was just like, I'm in this for the massages. And I'm like, oh, you're a selfish bitch. Okay.
Happy endings?
No? Oh, wait. Sometimes. This was a long time ago.
This was last
My memory
week.
isn't that great anymore. Hey, life's going fast, and so last week felt like a long time ago. That air conditioning scenario this weekend really dragged things out.
I hope you had a case of horse juice sitting around just for that.
No, I went to your other commercial, Tapeworms.
Are you talking about our sponsor, Tapeworms?
Yeah, our sponsor today, is it Tapeworms?
It will be.
Yes.
So yours was a PS2. My first console, brand new. My sister got the brand new Nintendo Entertainment System when it first came out, and that came with like the 3 games. It was like Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, and it was a game called Track and Field. And it came with the controllers. It came with the little RF gun that you would use on Duck Hunt, and then it came with a little like, it was like one of those DDR pads. Kind of like it had numbers on it, and you would
we had one of those too.
Yeah, you would stomp on it. You would literally just like to play Track and Field. Yeah, it was great. So then when it was time for my first video game console, brand new, it was a Nintendo 64, and it was on Christmas morning in 1996. And I remember when I opened it, my mom was like, "Where's the game?" Because she was expecting that, and it didn't come with a game. So I had the entire day where I didn't have anything to play. I set it up and got it all excited. And my mom was like, fuck. And then, so the next day we went out to Kmart.
Ooh.
And she was like, go ahead and pick out a game. And I picked out the all-American classic Cruisin' USA.
That is a great game.
Yes, it is.
I had Cruisin' USA, and it is a fun
I loved
game.
it.
I'm not even a racing game person. Like, I don't usually like racing games that aren't like Mario Kart.
It was always wild to me because you could do a little hack where you would press 3 of the buttons on the controller at the same time during the vehicle selection screen, and you could change to a school bus. And I was just like, what? So I raced as a school bus all the time, and I was doing like the cruising tour across the USA. Man, hours sunk into that game. I loved that game.
Well, that was like my Need for Speed addiction.
Right. I played a lot of Hot Pursuit as well, and I also played, later on when I had my Xbox, I played Need for Speed Underground 2. Oh man, what a banger of a game that was. And the music, that's not even my kind of music, and the music was so good.
I mean, I remember finishing Hot Pursuit, and then like my thumbs would be like super sore. Like,
oh yeah.
I couldn't.
Because you had the whole idea, right, where you would press the button harder, and the car would go faster, right? That was just how physics works.
Yeah, that's obviously. Yeah. No, that was such a fun game. I mean, I could play that for hours, and then Vice City, I finally got Vice City later and played that for hours. And
so, Anthony, what was your first console?
We actually.
Also, thanks for flossing your teeth during the
You're
call.
welcome. You guys were going on. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. They were going to shut their.
Not we had. What was your first console?
Mine alone, my first console was a Super Nintendo.
Solid.
I played a lot. I loved the Super Nintendo. So many nostalgic titles from the Super Nintendo. Super Mario World. I mean, come on.
Legendary.
It's classic. Absolutely. One of the first things I had, there was a Kirby game that was on the Super Nintendo that I remember specifically because you could absorb the lightning enemies and you become this little lightning orb and fly around the stage. And that was a really cool power. And so that was a really fun one. I played the Super Mario RPG.
Oh, wow. For its time, it was a technological marvel. I remember that.
I never got to play those games.
Oh, they're so good. You're really missing out because those were just...
I feel like I missed out a lot on games growing up. We just didn't have the money.
Well, that was one of those things that, like, my parents had to really, like, squirrel and save to get me that, right? And for all I know, it could have been used, which is fine. I don't care.
I remember there was a game for Super Nintendo because my cousin up the street had one, and we spent a lot of time playing NBA Jam. Remember that game?
Oh,
where it was just side-scrolling.
Yeah. He's on fire,
and the ball would catch on fire, and you would shoot it. It was super cool.
Yes. We played that all the time because you would, instead of playing like and I'm not a sports game person either, but I remember I would be sitting there playing with my childhood friend, like, because it was 2 versus 2 and it felt less like a basketball game and more like this weird, like, sort of fantasy basketball that you were playing because you could get on fire. You got these like supercharged things. Like, I can't remember all the details of it. I really wish that I could because that was a really fun game. And I played a shit ton.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. That was my first console. It was... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to... Besides gaming consoles, I remember, I think after my parents divorced, my mom was like, we need a computer. So we got a Gateway that came in like 18 different boxes. Box. Yes, shipped to us. And a Gateway came with... Yes, and a Gateway came with like a book of games. And so there was 2 I vividly remember playing, which was like Deer Hunter, and I think one was like rally car racing, and it was just you just would play them because that's all you had.
It was so weird because at the time, game consoles were like, that's it. That was where you got your video games.
Yeah.
And PC games were these like little indie shop type things that weren't ever big productions or big to-dos until you got to something like Doom or Quake. But those were still sort of like in the pipe at the time. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I mean, your option was consoles. And that was how you got your video games. And that's where all the major games were. And that's what the popular things were, right? So... yeah, there were some PC games out there that...
I can remember 2 vividly that I did a lot. And the first one that I really, really, really loved was Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh my god, yes!
Days, hours playing that game.
We still have it.
Hours. Would play it for hours.
Did you guys ever play SimCity, like the original one?
Duh. I definitely love The Sims.
So... Did you play it? How did you play it?
I know.
If you don't mind me asking.
I'm trying to figure it out. How I did play it.
The few times I played it, I remember using the natural disasters and having fun with a lot of those.
All the time.
So what I would do, because I was a little budding sociopath, I would build my city. I would cheat. And I'd use the codes and I'd get money and then I'd build my city up real big, real fast. And I would use the terrain editor and I'd put a really giant hill outside the city.
And put the mayor mansion on top of it.
Yep, because that's my house. And then I would flood that bitch. I would flood and kill that whole fucking town.
What is it about men having to take a game like that and always creating the most dramatic disasters? It's like everything
it's like
we
real
do.
Life.
Yes, it's everything we do is the movie The Day After Tomorrow. It's a man thing. I don't get it. Gay, straight, it's a man thing. I'm sure there's women out there that do it, but it's always a man thing.
I didn't feel like the game had like a point because I was like, well, I'm not getting to attack anything or fight anything, so what am I doing here? And then I
Creating
made
a sustainable habitat.
I get to play God.
boring.
Now, I'll say, speaking of SimCity, there's another game that came out recently that is very similar that a lot of people think is better called Cities Skylines. It's got multitudes of expansions by now, and one of our good friends actually, I don't know if he finished it, but he was recreating Oklahoma City.
I absolutely own the game and all the expansions on my PC, and I'll play it once in a blue moon.
Really?
I've got the game.
Yeah. It's so intuitive the way you have all those different tools.
And I don't think
So many mods and everything you can do with it.
I only ever
have it.
I only ever start playing.
I feel like Anthony would be really good at it.
Yes, Anthony?
You
You can isolate the soundtracks later, right?
This isn't about the soundtracks anymore. This is about being polite. Anyways, no, I the only time that I try to like play City Skylines is whenever I'm like reasonably drunk and I'm like, I'll dive into this now, and I start building like two things. I'm like, this is too much.
It gets very, very detailed.
There's a lot to think about because you're always focused on your electric grid. You're focused on how to get electricity everywhere, your water, your sewage. There's a lot. Your road quality, because as the things grow, you need to increase your road. I mean, there's a lot going on, and I think that's why I like it.
Well, in the realm of Sim City, those little people that live in the city, how about we talk about the Sims?
I love the Sims. The original Sims. The first three Sims.
So the first game came out in 2000. I remember I was 12 years old, and I had been following it for a couple of weeks, and I was so excited when this game came out, because it was like little people in your computer that you could make them do stuff. And at the time, it was a technological accomplishment. Like, you could do all these things. You could customize this house. You could build a house. You could get a career. You could make a little family. And I'll never forget the first house that I did. I made this entire family of 4, and I put them in a house that was like 16,000 simoleons, and you only have 20,000 to start out with. So I put them in this house. I was like, cool, let's go. And I started decorating the house. And of course, like a good little gay boy, I started with the kitchen, and I ran out of money. And so whenever they barely have money, all they'll do, and I found this out very quickly, all they will do is eat potato chips from the refrigerator and cry. I didn't know then, but wow, how real is that?
That was my life in 2009.
That was your life this evening. You had crackers and cheese for dinner.
Only because I opted to do that, because I really need to stop eating. Back then, the chips were all I could afford.
Then I remember there were just a ton of expansions that came out. Like, you could go on vacation, you could get a pet, you could go downtown. Like, they just had all this crazy cool stuff, and it was so exciting when a new expansion would come out. And then The Sims 2 came out, and then The Sims 3 came out, and I remember they had expansions too. And then The Sims 4 came out, and people are still doing like house build videos that I like to watch a lot, because people can get really creative with things on there. And then I'll agree with Anthony, the expansions and the stuff packs, and it's just, come on.
All I know is with The Sims, I remember when I first tried to make 2 guys fall in love.
Oh, yeah.
When I finally got it to happen, I would have swore up and down that the makers of Sims was going to call my parents and be like, your son is gay. And I'm like, ah! It was terrifying, but it was just this exciting feeling that I got 2 game fake things to fall in love that weren't supposed to in society's eyes.
Yep, you make 2 men meet, and then it was, you had to do like talk, chat, joke, like tickle. And then you could slowly start to like flirt, and then you'd catch your breath in the top of your chest because you're like, tickle, huh? Okay, that went well. Okay, now give back rub. Oh, okay. That was 2 plus signs above his head. He liked that. And then you would like safely do like one more talk, chat. And then you would do like kiss, and they would lean in, and you'd be like, ah, and then they would kiss, and you'd be like, ah.
This is Jay's problem because this is where he learned how to date.
I was just about to say, this is the reason I have this terrifying feeling of PDA, because I'm going to be like Tickle, and they're going to be like, and I'll be like, oh god, I did it wrong.
Because when they like, bleh, and then like the little 2 minus signs come up over their head, you're like, fuck, they're never gonna kiss now.
They're going to be straight forever, and this guy's going to be sad and alone, and The Sims is how I learned how to date, and it explains all my problems in life.
Now, a word from today's sponsor, Tapeworms. Are you tired of traditional diets? Is exercise just not cutting it? With all the fads and trendy diet programs, it's hard to know where to start. This can leave you feeling down, depressed, and eating gallon after gallon of Baskin-Robbins cotton candy ice cream. I know I sure did. Until I found out about the hidden gem of dieting, tapeworms. With tapeworms, you can be losing weight after just a short gestational period. Trying to help a spouse or loved one lose weight because you're a vapid sociopath? Take them out for a sushi and slip a little Tanya Asiatica into their sake. Yes, with tapeworms, you and your family can be trim in no time. Call now to get yours for just 4 installments of $24.99.
Warning, tapeworms may cause abdominal pain, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, fatigue, dysentery, or death. Tapeworms are not approved by the FDA and are not strictly legal, so be cool and don't rat on us.
I actually will share something on the screen in a minute, because I want to show you a game I used to play on PC way back in the day that terrified me so much. I used to play this game, and it terrified me so much. Oh,
You played Alone in the Dark?
this was called Alone in the Dark.
Yeah. Oh my god. I cannot believe you played this game. I thought if you had told me that you even knew what Alone in the Dark was before today.
This scared me so much, but I remember playing this.
So I want you to know something. That is, first of all, kudos to you, Jay.
Thank you.
You just gained so much of my respect.
You're so welcome. Glad I could help.
For knowing that this exists in general, but also for having played it. Great job. I have never played this game, and now this makes me want to download it.
Watch out, Joe. It's about to get scary.
So, fun fact about that. Let me also pull up something to share, because I need you to understand that 13 years later, they made this into a movie
I saw that.
called Alone in the Dark, who was led by Christian Slater. It was so critically panned. This is a 2.4 out of 10, I think, on here.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Look at that. It's bad. It is a bad movie. Where's it at? What rating? 1%.
1%.
Oh my god. I don't think I've ever seen a percentage that low.
An audience score of 11% with over 50,000 ratings. It's a bad movie. It's so bad. And
I kind of want to watch it.
oh, you can watch it by yourself because I've seen this film.
You've seen it? Is it
Of course
does
I've
it
seen
warrant a
it.
1% rating?
Oh, yeah. If you could rate it less.
Holy shit.
I've seen bad films. This is a really bad
So you're
one.
saying the terrible graphics in 1992 game are much better than the movie?
All right, so for this episode's game, we are doing another round of Fuck, Marry, Kill. And this time we're doing video game characters.
Already can tell I'm going to have to Google these.
Anthony, let's start with you since Jay's getting his Google ready. All right, this is Fuck, Marry, Kill video game characters. All righty, Anthony, the first one is Bayonetta. The second one is King Bowser. And the third one is Kirby.
Fuck Bowser. I want to know
Yeah.
what's down there.
When you know, you gotta tell me because I want that chisme.
Canonically speaking, there is like a Bowser dick out there because somebody tried to like ship a Bowser sex toy.
Dildo. Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo
Didn't they reach out and they were like, you have to stop making this? And so they basically admitted that Bowser's dick is real.
Yeah. Nintendo gave them a cease and desist. And so canonically, not only does Bowser have a dick, but it looks
We'll let you guys Google it because I don't want to share it here.
I'm going to marry Bayonetta.
I can tell that Jay's looking her up right now.
The style, the class, the fucking gun heels. She can make a whole demon out of her hair. Oh my god! And
that's what she'll call you, her whole demon.
I think she's a lesbian, but I don't care. It would work. It would work so well for me. I mean, at least, you know. And Lord knows she could protect me from all the evils of the world. She's Bayonetta. And then I'm going to kill Kirby. There's no, I don't. Sorry, Kirby. And yeah, I'm not that sorry. What did you ever do for me?
It's funny that you say you're going to kill Kirby. How are you going to kill Kirby?
Ow.
That's tough.
A black hole?
Jay, I'll hop in here real quick and tell you that if you're not familiar with Kirby, if you guys aren't familiar with Kirby in general, Kirby is a small little pink blob of a character, and he lives in a magical dreamland or whatever. He's just this tiny little guy. He's so cute. And his big like claim to fame is he can inhale enemies and then either shoot them out as ammo or he can gain their abilities. And that's the big draw of what he can do. And he can also fly, so he can inhale air and fly.
That actually just solidified my answer. All right, I'm ready.
All right, so Jay, go ahead.
All right, so I also am going to fuck Bowser, and I'm really hoping that I'm super drunk because that looks very uncomfortable.
Did you Google the? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I absolutely did. I am actually going to marry Kirby. My goal with Kirby is to suck up all of the traffic when I'm trying to get to work and blow it out of the way. So
what a wholesome answer.
Using him for my benefit, and Bayonetta and Bayonetta looks like she's crazy drama. Don't want to deal with it. Gonna kill her.
In knowing where you're coming from with this, I also need you to know that in the latest Kirby game, there is canonically a thing called mouthful mode where Kirby sucks up a car, but he just gets on top of the car and has control of the car and drives it around.
Perfect. Right lane. Let me go in the left lane.
God.
I'm trying to get to work and leave my house later. Get out of the way.
That highway by your house, you know what? I totally agree with your choice. Those are good answers, Jay. For someone who knows nothing about Kirby, that is a great answer.
I respect it because you don't know anything about them. I do feel like you would change your mind about Bayonetta if you knew her a little better.
I don't, but keep going.
So I have an interesting train of thought on mine that I can justify. So I'm going to kill King Bowser because I am so tired of the drama. Every Mario game, it's, oh no, he stole Princess Peach again. Go save Princess Peach from Bowser again. And I'm like, bitch, I know you got that Stockholm Syndrome and you like it. So Mario, maybe just let her get robbed for a while. She's hopping on that King Bowser canonical dick. So I'm not going to fuck Bowser because I know that Peach is fucking Bowser and I don't want his sloppy seconds. So I'm going to kill King Bowser.
I have this feeling that since the Mushroom Kingdom doesn't seem to have any good doctors because their only doctor is the plumber who comes there to save them.
To match pills, to make them disappear. That's all he does.
The Princess Peach is also running around with undiagnosed borderline personality disorder. And she's like, this is how you can prove you love me. I'm going to get kidnapped if you don't come save me. Anyways, continue with your fuck, marry, kill.
Okay, so then I'm going to marry Bayonetta because she does look like drama and I'm kind of into it. So, and I know that anytime I have a problem, if I can't solve the problem myself, I know that she can. And she'll come in there with her machine gun heels and her hair flip with her lesbian hair and her fucking glasses so she can read somebody, and she will annihilate them in a way that I never could. So I'm going to marry Bayonetta.
Bayonetta is everything.
And then that leaves one option left. I'm going to fuck Kirby because I've seen what that mouth can do, and I know how he can expand, and he's just so cute. and I can just take him home, and he can take me to Dreamland.
All right, well, I mean, I guess we finished for the week.
No, please give it a little less energy, Jay.
We're done for the week.
Let's say this, Beardos, if you want us to talk about more video game content, or if there's a game we didn't cover, or if there's something else you think we should cover in a future episode, if we ever revisit this topic, feel free to drop us an email. You know the address. It's beardsandsundries@gmail.com. Send us content. We want to talk about stuff that you're interested in. We really do.
Also, find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. Anything. We love it all.
Absolutely.
You're also welcome to send me flowers. That would be a good way to communicate with us.
In Oklahoma City, there's also crumble cookies, and I will accept those.
Ooh, they're in Tulsa, too.
I didn't know where all they were, but yeah, they're real good. This week alone is...
We have one in Broken Arrow.
Thanks for listening in to Beards and Sundries. We'll see you next week, shoppers.
See you next week.
Bye, Beardos.